Do we have everyone joining us now, Lauren? We're all set?
Where are you going? Hey, ma'am. Where are you going? I know I have mulberries here. Hey, we're starting to get some people in now. Oh. Did I just hit her with that mulberry? Yes. Oh my gosh, sister,
Lauren is torturing our poor pig here.
It was an accident.
Hello, Mary Frances. What do you think? So we are hanging out right now, trying to encourage Sister Mary Frances to take a dip and cool off on a hot sunny day here at the sanctuary. But I also definitely have some treats that she is very interested in at the moment. And if you don't get in here, I'm going to be getting in here soon, Mary Frances, okay? What do you think? I think it's pretty warm out. It would be nice to take a nice little bath, right? We're also bobbing for mulberries right now. So we're hanging out. We've got a little kiddie pool set up under the mulberry tree. A mulberry? Yes, you do want a mulberry. And it's been dropping its fruit for about a week and a half now. So Sister Mary Frances has been just circling around. Don't feed a pig the way I'm feeding a pig, which is letting her put your whole fingers in her mouth. That's a terrible idea, right? Yes, it's a terrible idea. And we're going to see if she wants to flop over in her little kiddie pool here as well. Maybe get a little belly rub. But she's been circling around in the mulberry tree drop zone for a week and a half, just picking them up as they fall over the course of the day, making sure that nobody else, Russell the potbelly, steals her fruits, right? Those are yours. It's all yours. Sometimes he comes in here and he tries to share, but you're quick. Yes, you are. So it has been an incredibly warm week here at the sanctuary last week. It was in the 90s many of the days, and right now June here in Saugerties in the Hudson Valley has been a couple of degrees warmer than average right now, so definitely hotter than usual start to our summer. Nope. You are going to win this, aren't you? Yeah, I think she might end up winning and getting all of the treats. It's definitely been a warm summer here, and we're just kind of seeing this trend where each summer is just getting a little bit warmer than the next. And 2016 was the hottest summer on record, or hottest year on record. And right now, scientists are thinking that 2020 is on track to be the new hottest year. So this is me losing against Sister Mary Frances in terms of who is going to get all of the treats. Do you think that the mulberries you've been eating are enough? What do you think? She says they are enough, but I want more. And so we're here hanging out with her, trying to get Sister to cool off in her little kiddie pool to kind of demonstrate what we do for a lot of our animals. Oh my goodness, I'm going to lose. I'm going to toss the popcorn over out of the view of the camera. And
now she's just going to come over here to where I'm sitting. Hi, little piggy. No. This is why I put it in a tree earlier, because you can't climb trees. No, you can't. Do you want to throw some in the pool? Maybe she'll go in for that.
Yeah. Here, try it again.
Sister, go look at that.
What do you think? So what we have set up for a lot of our animals, our pigs, our chickens, our turkeys, some of our more land-bound ducks, are little pools for them to hang out in during the day. When they're getting too hot, we'll encourage them to go over to the pool. Hi, Angel. And take a little dip to cool their skin off, cool their feet off. Because I have been sweating quite a bit. What do you think? In the pool? Yes, no, maybe so. It's like, if you could just give it to me outside of the pool. I've been sweating quite a bit, but unlike us, our pig friends do not have the ability to sweat on most parts of their body. So the only place that they can really sweat is the tip of their little snouts. We're just bobbing for popcorn. It has failed. She is not going in. Oh, you got this. You got this, Sister Berry. Yes. And so they need a little bit of external help to cool off on a really hot day because potbelly pigs are very, very prone to overheating, as are our other friends. If you were to have a companion potbelly pig at home, the recommendations for you would be to help them stay cool in the summer in a very similar way that you might help your dogs stay cool in the summer. So you want to make sure that they have plenty of water to drink. You want to make sure that they have some nice, cool, shady areas outside where they can retreat to when it's getting pretty warm. You're doing great, Mary. Look at you bobbing for those mulberries. You're doing excellent. Here's another one. Yep, there you go. Some of them sink, some of them float. And she's not into diving all the way under for all of that.
I just threw, I don't know if that showed up on camera, but I just threw a couple mulberries in for her, and they bounced off her side and then fell in. So, my apologies.
No pigs were harmed. So, have a cool, shady area for them. Make sure that they can retreat to a cooler indoor space as well if you have that opportunity. Right? And then if they start to get a little overheated, maybe give them some popsicles, cool off their skin, give them a pool to dip in, and if they really look like they're going into heat stroke, make sure that your friends go see a veterinarian to get all of the care that they need because they're susceptible to all of the hot weather problems that we are. What are you doing? What are you doing? You're being pushy about food, aren't you? There are still mulberries in here. There are still mulberries in here, my love. So we often talk about, the effects of animal agriculture kind of spurring on climate change. Animal agriculture being one of the big industries that is emitting tons and tons of greenhouse gases into the atmosphere that are encouraging our planet to just rapidly heat up in a way that we have not spent, that we're not supposed to be seeing. That is not natural. That is man-made. We're going to lose Sister Mary here. I might end up hopping in the pool for entertainment value if she continues to mull around the tree.
Mull around
mulberry tree.
Hey. Yeah, you better hurry up. She's on the move.
She's very much on the move here. So, what are you doing, Mary Frances? You want a belly rub? Today, I thought we might focus a little bit more on the impact of warming temperatures and weather, really warm weather, on our friends who are used in animal agriculture, rather than their impact on warming our planet because of how we're raising them. So, we're going to be talking a little bit about pigs in the hot weather today. Not pigs at Catskill Animal Sanctuary, but pigs who are on farms who are being transported. And before we do, I'm in the way of Sister Mary, aren't I? Before we do that, do we have any questions kind of coming through about our friends here at the sanctuary?
That's okay. We didn't catch that on camera or anything.
No,
big deal.
Not
Nobody
at all.
saw that.
There's a root here, or a little bump in the ground, and I slipped. You guys. Did we have any questions kind of coming through before we dive into talking a little bit about what the lives of pigs on farms look like in this kind of weather?
Really, people are just saying how adorable little sister is. And I'm sure we're going to get some questions about her name, by the way. Because she does have a rather unique name. Sister. And also from Veronica, on our own account, by the way, send up laugh reactions to get Kanan in the pool.
I will climb in the pool before the end of this. Because I am also very warm. Sister, do you want to come back down? No, we're just mulling around the mulberry tree now. What do you think? Should we go up, catch up with her?
We can go follow
This is her preferred location at the moment. She took a quick dip in the pool before we started, but she's back to business. So Sister Mary Frances' name, she is named after a woman who was a caretaker for elderly nuns named Mary Frances, who was also a caretaker for a staff member of ours, sister, biological sister, who was also a nun. So, sister. And we named Sister Mary Frances after Mary Frances the caretaker. It's an incredibly convoluted story, but you know what? Sister Mary Frances really needs 3 names to capture just the sheer amount of personality in her little body. Mary Frances! And we may end up, you know what? We may end up hanging out with some of our other friends too if she is not in the mood to hang out with us today. She's on the move. Yes, we have a question.
Yes, which is, what is her favorite snack? And should I grab the popcorn and we can try that again with her?
We can, yeah. So Sister Mary Frances right now is on a little bit of a popcorn kick, for sure. So that's what we've been using to get her into the baths, to cool her off on a hot day right now. Popcorn is more enticing than mulberries, apparently. Especially because she is really focused. I was saying she just finished eating a bunch of dandelions. She just finished eating a bunch of dandelions. The clover is kind of dying down a little bit right now, and so Sister has to move on to her next bout of local seasonal produce. Right? So, did we have any other questions? All right, cool. So we are, as Kathy Stevens would say, have you kissed a pig today? And if you haven't, you probably need to. She doesn't like people to come here without having a chance to kiss a pig. And Sister Mary, you've got a pretty kissable snout, don't you? Yes. We're gonna see if she wants it. Little belly rub. Little belly rub. What do you think? Oh, that feels pretty good. But I'm on the move. I've got things to do. I've got berries to find. You've got popcorn that I want to steal. Yeah, that's the mood of the moment. It is around lunchtime, right? So, when we're hanging out here on a really hot day, and we've got people on a tour, and they're kind of sweating on their tours, and they're thinking, oh my goodness, it's rough to be out in the sun. I can't wait till I get back into my air-conditioned car. I want to drink some water. I want to just go cool off in my house. Hanging out outside in the heat for a couple of hours is more than enough. I don't need any more of this. I often ask folks to think about what it might be like to be... Bless you!
You gotta sneeze into your elbow.
Yes, all the elbow that Mary Frances has. You don't have much in the way of elbows, my love. You got some pretty good tiny knees, but that's about it. To think about what it would be like if you had to spend your entire day in the back of a hot truck. And unfortunately, the truth of the matter is that it really doesn't matter whether it's the middle of the winter in bitterly cold temperatures, or bless you, look at you go. Do you want that little bit of mulberry, or is that a little bit of snooger? I don't know. Or in the middle of like a really blazing hot summer day, farmed animals can still be transported to slaughter in this kind of weather. So they get packed into these trucks that you might be able to see if you're just driving down. If you're just driving down the highway, you may see pigs or chickens or turkeys packed into these open air trucks, but pretty tightly packed in there. And they're on their way to the end of their lives. But they go on some fairly long journeys at times. I often like to remind people that a number of our animals who've been rescued here at Catskill Animal Sanctuary are rescued from the sides of the highway in New York City. They're being brought into New York City to have their lives ended. Oftentimes from, sizable distances outside of the city where they were raised on farms. And so it is perfectly legal to have animals on trucks for well over 24 hours, a whole day. There is a 28-hour rule, which is a federal law, which says that you cannot have livestock. So we're talking about individuals like Sister Mary Frances, or more like her big pig friends, or like our big cows like Tucker or Blossom, Benjamin. You can't have them on a truck on their way to be killed for more than 28 hours without food, water, or rest. Once you hit the 28-hour mark, you have to stop. Give them some rest, give them some water, give them some food. Unless you get a written exception, and then it can be 36 hours. But think about yourself. With all of the amenities, you can access maybe the cool inside your house, even if you don't have air conditioning, some shade, some fans, maybe put an ice pack on your back on a really hot day. And you're just being told to drink lots and lots of water. Veterinarians are telling you to make sure that your dog or your companion pig has plenty of water to drink on these really hot days that hit in the middle of the summer. And yet, the animals who are on our farms in the United States don't need, suddenly, they don't need this food, this water, to help keep them hydrated and cool and refreshed on a really hot day. Sometimes the last hours of their lives. They're biologically really not that different from our friends like Sister Mary Frances, from us, from our dogs. But because of where they're being raised, unfortunately, it's heartbreaking. The laws that protect them are very, very loose. And so they often can suffer from heat stroke without care on these long, long transports, no matter the weather. What do we think, Mary? Do you need more popcorn? I'm not sure that you do. We may have to cut you off from the popcorn. You've got a lot of mulberries to eat as well. I don't need animal care watching this later and saying, Caden. This is quite a bit of popcorn that we've got going on. And I know I've talked for a little bit. Did we have any other questions kind of pop up as we have?
We have not. So, folks, if you have questions, the camera's doing a little thing on its own there. If you have questions about our dear little Sister Mary Frances here and her cute little bum with the wagging tail. Oh, there we go. We got one from Pam. Pam, is that a picture? Is Scout in your profile picture with you there? Because that, if I don't know any better, that looks like Scout, one of our dear sheep. But Pam is asking how old our dear one is here.
Sister Mary Frances is a middle-aged pig. She was a couple of years old when she came to us in, I believe it was 2015. Lauren, does 2015 sound correct to you? So she was already a couple of years old. Her exact age we're not sure of. So probably around 8 or 9 is what I typically go with. So for a potbelly who can live up to 20 years, that's right in the middle of her life. You're nice and mature, but you're still very active. Oh, what do we think? Belly rubs? Belly rubs?
I will just say, by the way, in my profile picture is Zeke the sheep. So.
We do love our sheep friends. They were just let out of this field before we started. We may end up luring Michael to join, actually. We may end up luring Michael the turkey to join me when I go take a dip in the pool. What do you think, Lauren? Does that sound like a good plan? Yeah, so Sister Mary Frances had been a companion pig before she was surrendered to us because her family, no longer really wanted the full responsibility of a potbelly pig. They were moving. And so she needed a safe home. We're grateful to have her with us, and she has certainly got plenty of personality to share with the sanctuary. I'm going to pop this popcorn in the tree.
The pig cannot get it.
And we're going to go and lure Michael to join me in the pool. So I'm going to go grab her while we focus on Sister Mary Frances for a second.
All right, and Debbie is wondering about baby onesies, and if we're going to have those for sale. Off the top of my head, I do not know. That is something you can keep an eye on our store about. And Heather, I know you're in here somewhere. If you have the response to that, if you know we'll be getting any of those in, definitely feel free to chime in the comments. And Pam, that is so wonderful to hear. Scout is a very special girl. I have no idea where the sheep are right now. They're actually probably in the barn. So yeah, they're just having a little wander around. What do you think, little pig? This is what she does the whole day. Circle the tree, circle the tree. And Caden is having some slight difficulties with Michael right now. Michael decided to lay down on the ground instead. Oh, here we go. All right, let's, what do we think? Do we like the pool? We good? All right, let's swing around to check in with Michael now.
So our turkeys are our other friends who have a tendency... Ooh. 2 seconds in and I'm sharing a kiddie pool with a little bit of turkey poo.
Oh no.
That's unfortunate, but
very unfortunate.
I'll wash off after.
Everyone, you always got to make sure you use the bathroom before you get in the pool.
It is a general guideline, yes. So Michael, you may notice, has an open beak, which means she is fairly toasty, and because it is pretty warm. She was a little bit not in the mood to go for a nice little foot bath, but she needs it, so that's what you're going to get, Michael. And I like to put a little bit of colder water on their wattles as well, which helps them cool off a little bit quicker. But our turkeys are also some of our friends who really need the most help cooling off. Panting doesn't cut it for them on a really hot day, and their bodies can overheat pretty easily because of their size. We had a question, I think.
Yes, Martha is wondering about Sister Mary Frances and her tail wagging. Is she warding off flies, or is it just sheer contentment?
A little bit of neither. So generally, if you see a big pig wagging their tail, it might be because there's flies around. It might be because of pleasure. It might be because they just kind of have like a little bit of something bothering them that they feel around their bum. If you see a potbelly wagging their tail, it doesn't give you a whole lot of information because potbellies are constantly wagging their tails. And so, yeah, it's not telling us too much, honestly. Although I will say Sister Mary Frances is our one potbelly pig who least consistently wags her tail. And so if she is standing in a field, very, very focused on her grazing, and her tail isn't wagging, if you call her name, she will not look up, but she will wag her tail in response to acknowledge you. But she will stay focused on her grazing because Sister Mary knows her priorities, and you have to appreciate that in some way. Yes. You cooling off a little bit now, Michael? So our big white turkeys, our broad-breasted white turkeys, and our Cornish cross chickens, our chickens like my favorite guy, Al, who are bred to get really massive on farms by the time they're 16 weeks old if they're a turkey like Michael, or 6 weeks old if they're a chicken. Their bodies are just so much bigger than is natural for them. There's already a tremendous strain on their heart, And they have a hard time in this kind of weather cooling off anyway. Any of our birds need a little bit of assistance cooling off, but these guys have that added strain. And so we like to keep a close eye on them, make sure that if they are panting, they get a little foot bath, and they have the chance to cool down. And if it's a really, really hot day, they may actually end up going into the office. You are cooling down a little bit. Is that more relaxing? Yes. That they go into the office where there's some air conditioning on for them, and they can get a little bit cooled down that way, because our friends are, we want them to be comfortable. They're not here to kind of tough it out. They're here to have a good, long, happy, comfortable life as much as we can offer that to them. Right, Michael? And you've had 5 good years of that so far. We have another question, I think.
Yes, Veronica is wondering about Michael's favorite snacks and things to do.
Michael, what is your favorite snack, Michael? I'm not sure. Michael would...
Everything?
Yes. I was going to say, Michael would happily eat everything, whether or not we consider it to be edible. Mulberries are acceptable. What do you think? That was a good one? It was almost a good one. Mary's eating all the best ones, you gotta say, so I'm sorry. You gotta beat her to it. She likes some clover. She enjoys trying to steal anybody's snacks. Where are you gonna go, sweetheart? You gonna leave me? I'm gonna be the only one cooling off now? I am the only one in this video who can sweat, and I am the one who apparently appreciates the cool the most. That's fine. And then, wait, what was Veronica's other question?
Michael's favorite things to do.
Michael's favorite things to do in cold weather include... I'm going to look so awkward getting up out of this, so I'm going to answer that in a second.
You're off camera. If you want to get up now, you're off camera, don't worry. There we go.
So Michael enjoys a good receiving of a butt scratch most days, although if it's a hot day, she tends not to pay as much attention. She has just figured out that she is back under the mulberry tree, and I think she is on the move looking for that. So we have chosen, officially, one of the more distracting spots here at the sanctuary. And I am not as interesting as grass if you are a horse, and I am not as interesting as mulberries if you are any of our other animals. I think the sheep still love me, though, so... Michael just loves to adventure and receive all sorts of attention in general, and she is cleaning up the mulberries now. I have alerted her to them. She has got it down pat. Oh, bye, Michael. All right, well, yeah. So the same organization, the AVMA, right now, that wants people who have companion pigs to be making sure that their pigs, just like their dogs, are staying cool, that people are being aware, they're not taking their... oh, hello, Michael. Should we go up closer to Michael and Mary?
Turkeys are a lot faster moving than you'd think they would be.
Michael's got quite the pep in her step, honestly.
It goes pretty well.
So the AVMA wants people to make sure that they're not taking their companions out in too hot of weather, that if they are, they're being aware of when their companions are getting too hot and need a break. And they support veterinarians who would be treating these guys if they do overheat. And yet at the same time, this is an organization that right now is condoning and in part kind of advocating for the killing of pigs and other animals like Michael in some pretty extreme heats as a form of depopulation, which is when these farms that were not able to send animals to be killed traditionally, to be killed and eaten, because of everything that has been going on with COVID-19, because they are not able to send the animals to slaughterhouses right now, they are just killing and not using their bodies. And it's a heartbreaking thing, because these methods that are considered humane for farmed animals would be considered absolutely inhumane if they were done to our companion animals, if they were done to Sister Mary Frances. I guarantee you our veterinarian would not look at us if we said, you know, so-and-so's gotten pretty old, they're feeling the aches and pains, and here's what we would like to do. And listed out the ways that animals are unfortunately being treated on farms at this very moment. Yes.
So we have a couple questions about Michael.
Yes.
One, does Michael have a best friend?
No, I don't think so. Michael hangs out a bit with Howard. They are colleagues. I would say colleagues is my word. So Howard the turkey is... I'm just watching Sister Mary Frances think about hopping in that pool because I didn't plan for it.
There she goes. And yes, Richard, that is Sister Mary Frances, the one and only. If we go close to her, do you think she's gonna, like, get out, or should we sneak over?
I'm not totally sure yet, but I'm hoping she's gonna flop down and then we can sneak over, because Mary definitely does love... Mary definitely does love a good pool soak. Yes.
And a nice butt scratch?
And a nice butt scratch. Good work, Mary Frances. Thank you for hopping in the pool and cooling. Yeah. Yep. Well, she was almost there. She was in there for a second. We caught her in the pool. Good work, Mary. But Michael does really love, oh gosh, she really loved Betty, the caregiver, who was interning here for quite some time, and who hopefully will be able to return. I'd say Michael got very, very particularly excited to see Betty, and I would constantly see them snuggling together. So Michael's definitely got a few favorite humans who she can't get enough of, but no animal best friends, as far as I've noticed. What were other questions about Michael?
About the wings.
She's got angel wing. So, Michael's wings kind of curl, and you get some funky stick out wings, right? And normally what that would mean, if you see a bird with angel wing, it means that their wing has not grown properly. It's become malformed. And this is actually the very thing that a lot of wild... Do you want to stop and get some belly or butt scratches? No, because there's mulberries around. This is the very thing that you don't want to see on wild ducks or wild geese, which is why you should never feed wild animals things like bread, which is nutritionally really not great for them, and they'll fill up on bread and not eat all of the nutritionally dense foods that they need in order to develop their wings and their, just grow properly. I don't think we're gonna catch Michael. She's on the move. Fully.
Michael's too fast for the camera.
Yeah, she's really going. So Michael did not get angel wing because she was malnourished growing up. She got it because she was growing so rapidly that it caused her wings to kind of grow in the wrong direction. And it's because she is this kind of turkey who's bred to grow really rapidly. It's not natural, and we do see it in some turkeys like Michael, even if they're getting a nutritionally complete diet. Did we have other questions about her? Okay. And how are we doing on time? What time is it, Lori?
We're a little over time.
Oh, classic. Okay. So I just want to say thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you for thinking about our friends on these hot days. Not just the ones who are here at Sanctuary, but also the ones who, unfortunately, will never get the chance to see Sanctuary. So we appreciate you supporting the work that we're doing to hopefully share their stories and let our friends be ambassadors. Quick, turn it! Look at Sister Mary Frances! So cute!
She's got an itchy face. And you know who just joined in is Betty. Look, Betty, it's Michael. Betty, your ears must have been burning, Betty. We were just talking about how Michael is a dear, dear friend of yours. And Janet's here too. Hi, Janet. We miss you.
So we appreciate you letting our friends be ambassadors for their species here. And I was going to say, if you want a Sister Mary Frances approved treat to help yourself cool off on a hot day, we have some nice recipes on our Compassionate Cuisine blog on our website, casanctuary.org. And I was looking at the chocolate-covered watermelon right now and thinking that sounds really nice for a really hot day. But also, if you guys want to support the work that we're doing further, tune in on Thursday, where Lauren will be doing another live stream here from the sanctuary. And you can also support us by texting CAS to 91999. And stay tuned for some of our other virtual CA Sanctuary programming options, which you can find on our... Oh. Lauren is telling me something.
Oh, I was going to say before you said your okay, bye, is that the session we're doing on Thursday is going to focus a lot on some of the very, very common questions we get here at the sanctuary. So if there's like burning questions you've got in your mind, definitely comment on like our social media. And yeah, we will answer some of them on Thursday. And if you have any special animal requests, maybe some of our friends who we have not really seen lately, someone who you might be interested in seeing, we can't make any promises because, as you can tell, they all have their own schedules and they're going to do what they're going to do. But, you know,
yes,
we'll see what we can do.
Yes. And we've definitely got a few questions that we already know are going to be answered on Thursday because they are just so darn common. Hello, Mary. Are you going to make one final reappearance before we sign out? Thank you so much for tuning in, everyone. We're going to hang out with Sister Mary Frances a little bit longer while we say goodbye to all of you. I hope you're all staying cool, staying safe, staying healthy, and staying home when possible. What do you think, Mary? Oh,
of course, and just
rubs.
as we're about to sign off, it's belly rub time. Yeah, you know, they do exactly what they want when they want it. Oh, what a good pig.
Still rooting for mulberries while we get our belly rub, though. Is there anything in there that I can eat? Maybe. I will check. Mary, you are a perfect pig in every single way. Except for when you pick fights. But even then, still perfect. Alright. Bye, folks.